This is only a test.
You know what's going on, man. I'm your guy, Ed, back again once again. This is the Black Dad Podcast on the YBG Network. What's going on, Davon? How you feeling today?
Man, blessed to be here, man. Thankful for y'all tuning in for another episode. Thank you. It's been amazing. How you doing, brother? How's your week been?
Man, just again, taking one day, one step at a time, man. Just trying to get everything in order. Like I said, this is pretty much at the outside of like the basics, taking care of home, making sure home is good. This is at the forefront, just trying to make this thing come together as best
Yeah.
as I know how. You feel me? And I'm enjoying it, bro. I'm liking the new energy.
Yeah.
We've been at it for a couple of years now, but I like the new energy that we on. I like the trajectory. You know what I'm saying? And everything in due time, everything gonna work out.
Yeah. No, I'm right there. Energy. I'm big on that. Last game of baseball. We got one game baseball left.
Mhm.
Good Saturday. Here the kids, we went out Chuck E. Cheese earlier. Had to show them, who got the best jumper in the family.
I ain't mad at it.
So it's been a good day. Happy Saturday.
It's a beautiful day too. Did y'all get rain out down there? Did y'all get
Yeah,
rain?
yeah, that's the reason why one of the games was canceled. Because I was supposed to have baseball today, and they actually canceled the game. Said the field was flooded, so
Mm,
I wasn't complaining. So
yeah.
enjoy the day with the kids. Coming here, knock this out. So
Yeah, we got a little bit of rain earlier, but it's for the most part it's been a beautiful day, even with the rain. You feel me? So
yeah,
enjoying that. I had the kids for a little bit. Played the same thing, playing basketball with Kobe in Brazil in the house, just enjoy the moments, man. Enjoy the times, man.
we recently saw a good clip going viral where I think it was Denzel. He was talking at the premiere of his movie Fences, and he's kind of talking about the trauma that's passed down between father and son. I wanted to kind of take a look at that clip and then kind of discuss it further.
Pain is passed down from father to son and son to son. A lot of pain in Troy's life is a result of the pain and the damage from his father that he then visits on his son. We have to, as black men, be mindful of that. Sometimes it's unfair, and sometimes we take it out on those we love. And I'm guilty of that frustration that we all have. But we have a responsibility and a duty to be fathers, not to just make babies, but to be real fathers. And you can't expect any good to come to you if you don't visit any good on your son or your daughter. So be a man.
Wow, that's a heavy jump, bro. It kind of like remind me of some of the stuff that we already talked about here, just where we just being mindful. Like when we were talking about like disciplining our children, right? And I was just saying like how like just being mindful of it's a thin line, but being mindful that you're not taking out your personal frustrations on your children, right? But also being mindful that you're not passing down that hurt and that trauma that may have been passed on to you. That's another thing too. And I think like hearing it, I wish I would have been able to receive that. At this point, is like a confirmation, more than like even like affirmation, but like confirmation of some of the things that I've learned along the way. But I wish I would have been able to learn that lesson a little bit earlier. You follow me, as a younger father, just having a better understanding about how to be, and hearing it come from somebody like Denzel is very powerful. You know what I'm saying? Even though he was talking about the movie at the time, I think a lot of people, a lot of young men, fathers, they face that challenge on a regular. You know what I'm saying? And it can be challenging. But I think once you look at it from a different perspective, once you look at it from a different angle, things may become a little bit more clear for you. Now we start talking about purpose. Now we start talking about reasoning for why you here. And I agree too, right? Like, be a man. Don't just be out here making babies, right? That's something that I meant. Like what I meant. Like I wish I would have heard that a little earlier in life, right? My misinterpretation of what being a man was, though, it just came along with just being with different women. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that true understanding about being a man. I only had my own understanding and with my friends and what I thought I knew. You know what I'm saying? So he was spot on though. I think his words, his advice was spot on for sure.
Yeah, trauma is deep, man. When you going through something and you experiencing it, and it has such a lifelong effect that you now transfer it to your kids. Like, you got to think systematically, how much trauma has Black people endured over centuries, over years, and we transfer from generation to generation to generation. And I think that's one of the hardest things to really put a child through is to make them go through what you went through. My grandmom used to tell me early, like, to break the cycle. Always trying to break the cycle. Don't do what was done beforehand. Always try to switch it up a little bit. And man, I actually had a moment this past weekend. I was watching Concrete Cowboy. I think it's the movie with Idris Elba, and it takes
Okay.
place in Philly. They ride the horses and stuff. And a part of the movie, this young boy, he's dealing with his dad and things of that nature. And I'm to myself thinking like, dang, like maybe it's still a part of me still like maybe unhealed and things like that. And am I taking some of these things as unhealed out on my son and the mind? Trying to be over. And sometimes you can do it both ways. Sometimes your trauma can make you be overzealous as a parent. Let me be closer to my son because my dad wasn't with me.
Yep, yep,
Let
yep,
me
yep.
be overdo it with my child because my dad or something didn't do it with me. So it's like I gotta monitor how I'm even doing it and treating him because I don't want my trauma or the things that I went through as a kid to affect him and affect his siblings. I really that clip makes a lot of sense to me because I know how hard it could really be to try to process the things you went through as a kid and then raising a child up in your own image or who looks like you or who acts like you and just trying to deter them from feeling the same things you felt.
And I would say, like, for that person, that father, and that position, like, understanding that what you went through was traumatic because sometimes we normalize the way life was for us. We normalize growing up without fathers. We normalize seeing our mom struggle. We normalize seeing different men or not seeing our mom happy at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think having that understanding that your experiences were traumatic are important too. Because if not, that's how you could slip into the same cycle too. Is thinking that, like, fuck it, that's just how it is. That's life. That's how it go. When it's like, no, like that wasn't supposed. That's not how it's supposed to go. You feel me? I think having understanding will help a man come into like that awakening when it's like, you know what, I'm going to be different. What I went through, I don't want that for my son. I don't want that for my daughters. You feel me? And like I said, having that understanding as early as possible, better late than never. You feel
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But I think, like, for men, we have children. We can have children as early as 13, 14 if that's how it go.
Yeah.
Regardless, even with a parent, we still don't have that mentality of a man. Our brains haven't fully developed yet.
No.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's just like, it just proves how important having that peace in your life is. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Yeah, for
I
sure.
think it's just even to go say this, and I'll say this, and we can get to our main topic: generational trauma. The trauma that is just transferred down from the grandfather to the son to his son, and it just keeps going, And if you can't break that cycle, if you can't break that, how are you going to ever be great in life? How are you ever going to make something out of yourself? If you still dealing with the things of your forefathers, like, come on, like we can't have those excuses. So that trauma, man, it has a lifelong impact on people's lives. And I'm a firm believer that therapy can really help people. If you feel you
Mm-hmm.
want to do something, go get a non-objective third party that you can talk to, somebody you can get clarity from, that has no stake in the race, that really just wants to see you be better. I've heard a lot of therapists, they have therapists. Like, hurt people, but people who are being helped can help people. So I think, I might even, us doing this podcast and we talking, giving advice, I may go seek, therapy, not just clearly wrong, but just always want to check in, make sure my emotional intelligence is right. And no systematic trauma or generational trauma is still affecting me or my kids. Like, just trying to do the work just so I can always make sure that I'm right.
I agree.
So we rolling on to the next joint. So let me put my hat to the back for this one. What advice would you give your kids concerning the pursuit of the perfect body? Kids nowadays want the perfect teeth, the perfect skin, perfect hair. To a degree, they're chasing unrealistic expectations. What advice would you give your children or feeling about they want to change something about themselves?
Changing is pretty tough. Like, changing, like completely changing now. I would say, like, more along the lines of what is it, like, not advancing, but, like, I don't know, making better, becoming better. I can understand that, but changing, like, wanting to take, like, your God given feature and wanting to change it around to where as though it doesn't look that way.
Yeah.
I can't really understand that. Now, as far as like, I'm gonna say something like losing weight. If you think that you could probably lose weight, like I can understand that, and that would be easier to like navigate through. But as far as like the way that you were created, I'm going to always tell them, I'm going to always encourage my children to love themselves the way that God has created them.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to like things that you can control, eating habits and all that stuff like that, that come along with discipline. So that's what I would talk about. I would talk about just like, being a little bit more conscious of, the way that you handle your body. If you want to achieve a certain type of figure, you don't have to always go under the knife to do that. You feel me? You can literally work to get it, but that come along with discipline. You feel me? A lot of the ways, we've especially, I don't know if it's just American culture or black culture. I don't know what it is, but we've come up and we eaten we haven't really eaten the things that are like healthy for us. So when you think about it, even in knowing better, you're still facing a challenge. The challenge is being disciplined.
Right.
You feel me? Because you know that it might not be the best to, at 40 years old, eat fried food all week. But you've been eating, it's like, damn, I've been eating fried food all my life.
Yeah.
So really it becomes like a discipline, a mind over matter thing. You feel me? But it all starts with like self-love, loving yourself no matter what. Like, and all that stuff I always said, I had this one saying that I always flip and flop, on Facebook every couple of years, but I say, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, not in the opinions of society.
Yeah.
You feel me? So when we talk about what's beautiful, that's only subjective to the eyes that are laid on whatever that thing is.
Sure.
So
I know an ugly girl that's a baddie to me. So I mean, it's hell about how you look at it.
That's the only thing that matters. And even in that, it's like that's the only thing that matters is what you see. You feel me? I'm not gonna say so. If we just talking about like health habits and stuff like that, I'm not gonna say like I wouldn't encourage living in like oblivion. Like if your lifestyle is that unhealthy, we should again learn to be disciplined so that we could live better lifestyles. You feel me? But like I said, a lot of it is just because it's been repetition. Been eating fried chicken, cheeseburgers, cheese fries. Every time I go to Philly, bro, I'm cheesesteak me. Like, that's what I'm saying. Especially in Maryland, I done tried to get cheesesteaks in Maryland, and I be pissed. I be mad. So every time
you ain't too far. You can go. There's a joint up here. Dang, man, what's the joint? I find a name out here in Delaware. You ain't gotta go all the way to Philly to get you a good cheesesteak.
So yeah, I love that, and because
it's called Capriati's, man. This episode, one day it might be sponsored by Capriati's. Like, they're not born.
It's on Italian, so I might have to
man. Listen, I had one, get one on Sunday, man. I was sitting somewhere all day quiet, like
sit in a corner.
Yeah, so, man.
I would just say that, like, I have that thing, like, but for the most part, like, what I would just tell my children, I would tell my daughters or my sons, like, love yourself the way God created. Yeah. If it's something that you can't control if your nose is too big, you can't control if your eyes are too far apart, you can't control, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I definitely wouldn't support or recommend, like, surgery, like getting, like, BBLs and shit like that, or what's the new shit they got? They got male BBLs and niggas is getting height surgery, getting their knees redone so they could be a foot taller. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not necessary. You follow me? So I would definitely encourage my children to love themselves the way that God has created them, for sure.
Yeah, I think it boils all down to what are you watching. You are what you take in. Like, and the media perception, the black culture perception is we gotta have the perfect teeth, the veneers, the lace front. You got old heads now. Man, some of them teeth look like front doors. Like, you talking about chiclets, those things look like out here. So, I mean, then you want the perfect hairline. You want to go to church, you get the hairline. Toxic. So this was never something when we were younger. Like, if you looked how you look, if you lost some weight, you lost some weight. Now, I think, for health reasons, if you need to lose weight, things of that nature, cool. I think it's a good thing. Me personally, as soon as we run up a bag on this podcast, nigga, I'm getting the surgery to be taller. I don't know what you can say what you want. Am I? What? I'm gonna have a ball. You hear me? Listen, they said tall, dark, and handsome. I already had. I got 2 out of the 3. So if I once I get the third, oh, it's over.
Knee-BL, not a BBL, a knee-BL.
Knee-BL Disney. You hear me? Like I would be cold. Like
BBL Disney.
all I wanted is about 6 foot, 6 foot 6'1". I'm cool. But yeah, like but I would definitely implore to my kids and always tell them like, love yourself, love who you are, love your body that God gave you. Like if you want to put in the work, go work out. But a surgery going underneath the knife. Because my kids, I got gaps and stuff in my teeth. My kids be quick telling, Dad, you don't want no braces? I'm 30-some years old. I'm not about to get braces. I know 40-year-olds with braces though. Like I'm still trying to, get that perfect smile. But I feel like at this point in my life, man, it is what it is. Like until
And it's like this too, Davon. Like it's like this. When you've achieved a certain level of self-confidence and stuff like that, you learn to love yourself. There's nothing wrong with so I'm just saying, if you did want to get braces, I don't think there's anything wrong
But
with that.
that's until we get that bag like Cameron and Mace. Because you see how they looked in the first few seasons. Once they got that bag, man, Mace got a hairline, Cam got teeth.
Hold on, yo.
Yeah, like that's so. I ain't saying never. I'm just saying once the bag come, we gonna get right.
I don't know. If anything, I would because even now, where we at, we got a gym downstairs. There's nothing to go to the gym. I think for me, that would be my only thing is like just tightening up what's going on already. Like I don't need like, it's nothing no enhancements or none of that I think going on. Like I feel like I've lived a certain kind of lifestyle or lived a life, I should say, not lifestyle, but a life to where as though I have enough confidence. You feel me? You see my shirt? I wear this joint proudly. So, she don't care. Like, if anything, I might get my feet fixed. My feet been crazy. I got the ball player
Oh
toes
yeah,
and shit like that.
yeah. I done already had foot surgery before. They tried to
Maybe
fix it
that.
and fucked it up worse. So excuse my language, stuff a lot.
Maybe that.
Yeah,
Maybe that. Maybe I'll go get something done with my feet. But I think that's regular shit too. Like that's cosmetic. You feel me? That's not like rearranging or
yeah,
anything of like your God given. Excuse me. That's not like rearranging of like your God given. You know what I mean? The way that God created you. So I would just say like, and if people that I don't, and again, I don't have no. I just wouldn't recommend it for like my children. You feel me? Like I
yeah.
wouldn't do it.
No, I
Like
mean,
recommend it.
I would definitely always tell my kids like, love yourself, love what God gave you, and just work on what you can and do what you can. Don't surgery ain't always necessary. Now I can say some of these surgeries do look nice, though. You suffer, man.
You
Listen,
getting the muscles and shit. You gonna get the muscles and
no,
the
I don't
DVDs.
listen. I don't know who scissor surgeon is, but that nigga deserves an award.
Yo, that's funny as shit. Did you see? Speaking of SZA, and this is a random question. Did you see her movie with Keke Palmer?
Nah,
Man,
I can't watch jigaboo stuff
because
like that,
is it
man.
because of Keke Palmer?
No, I actually think Kiki Palmer. It's just the whole premise. I think it was written by Issa Rae. When I watched the previews,
I can
I
see that.
knew that it wasn't going to like me personally. I knew it was going to bomb. I'm not saying it was. I would always support anything Issa Rae do. I loved Insecure, but
Yeah,
it didn't seem like believable to me. It just seemed like it was just too over the top. Like just put that on a
I can see
BET
that. I can see
like
that.
Buster.
I thought it was pretty dope. I like the I thought because you brought up SZA, so I haven't really gotten into SZA music. I've never even really gotten into her. That was probably the first time I ever like looked at her for more than 5 seconds. You feel me? Like so, seeing her in a movie, I got a chance to see like some of her talent. So I thought that she did pretty decent, but I could see like what you call it, that jigaboo shit. I could see that it was definitely some like stereotypical type shit going on, especially with Keke Palmer. You feel me? And I think Keke Palmer is way more advanced than to have to take those kind of roles. But it kind of gave a little bit of Friday minus like the heavy weed influence and stuff like that. It kind of
Yeah,
felt a little like Friday-ish. But I thought that SZA did pretty decent for me. For that was my first time seeing her like do anything. You feel me? I never really got into her music or anything like that. So
again, no, big fan, big fan. Keep doing your thing, sister. Keep doing your thing.
crazy.
But we got to get into our next segment, one of the fan favorites. And man, while we get a chance talking about fans, man, tap that button, subscribe, man. We really appreciate your
Sirs.
input, the outreach of questions, just giving us the energy, man. We really appreciate it. It drives us to keep going. So we're gonna hop into this next one. Can you get with this? You can't get with that. New Section 8 proposal looks to start a 2-year cap for services. So you could only be on Section 8 for 2 years coming up. And another proposal is stating that it would only be for veterans and disabled members of society. Can you get with that? Or you can't get with that?
I could get with that.
Huh?
I could get with that just because, like, for the most part, because just from my own experiences, I've seen like my people. When I mean my people, it could be my cousin, it could be my homie, sister, his family. You know what I'm saying? I think like part of what we doing here, part of what my mission is in life, and I think a lot of people mission should be doing is to progress, not
Yeah.
to stay stagnant in life, And that's no slight at people who have lived on Section 8 or who have survived off Section 8, right? But my point would be is that it's so much more. You follow me? I think it kind of like forces those people to like figure something out. People they'll get comfortable. It's you'll have generations of families surviving off of that. You feel me? And I just think it's not a bad idea if you look at who it benefits the most. You feel me? It kind of like, it doesn't, I don't think that it puts you at a disadvantage. I think depending on how you feel about yourself or how you take it, it kind of puts you at an advantage and kind of light the fire under you. You feel me? So I don't know, to be honest, I don't know if 2 years is enough time, but I just think having that limit to where as though it kind of expire, it's kind of like, I think it's kind of decent. You feel me? So I could get with that for sure. And it's not like I'm sorry. And it's not like it's taking it away from them in its entirety. You feel me? Like it kind of like, so you might take that 2 years, you might need that in them 2 years, you might go to school, you might go back to school, you feel me? You might get your degree, or you might have got your degree, but you might take that 2 years to get that job that you've been working to go to school for, like something of that nature, I think will come into play if that's the case. You feel me? I'm sorry.
No problem, brother. I could get with it and I can't get with it on these two fronts. When they're saying only for veterans and disabled, I think that veterans and disabled should maybe make up the large quantity of Section 8 people, to maybe make it like 60-40, veterans, disabled, and then maybe 40 is just, underprivileged members of society who just need it. So that's would be the only part I can't get with. I would get with the fact that it would be a 2-year cap. Me personally, I believe comfortability is the thief of success. When you comfortable, you're never going to want to drive to get out of a situation. I can remember one time my Aunt Rhonda let me stay with her for 6 months. I was living in the house. The guy who owned the house up and sold the house out of nowhere. And then I'm trying to figure out where to get in between time. So my aunt let me stay there. I had a blow-up bed. The blow-up bed had a hole in it. I never went and got it. Every morning I would wake up on the floor. I never went and got, listen, I never
I'm
went and got
laughing
it.
because I've been there, bro. So I
Bro,
know that feeling.
I never went and got it fixed. I never went a new boot. I had
I
money,
have
but
been there, dog.
I did it because I did not want to get comfortable at my aunt's house. I didn't
Okay,
want to get
okay,
comfortable sitting there. I wanted to know,
okay.
like, this is only short term, nigga. You gonna wake up on this floor and eventually you gonna be on the bed soon. So it took me, I think, probably about 6 months. I stayed, I got the apartment, man. Like, so by the grace of God, I always tell that story. But comfortability is the thief of success. You'll never get anywhere if you're comfortable. Those people, how many people have sent generations in the projects? They didn't raise their kids, and their kids been sitting in
Trust
the
me, I
same house.
understand.
Talking about
Yep,
that's
yep, yep.
grandma house. That ain't grandma house. That's a state house. As soon as they up and sold our projects, people had to be relocated to other projects. Y'all never had nothing. Y'all didn't own that. That was house passed down. It was passing down Section 8. So it shouldn't be in a situation where as though you feel comfortable with just being dependent on people with low wages and low rent and things like that. If you got low wages, it should drive you want to go get higher wages. It should drive you want to be better and do more. It shouldn't make you want to just be stagnant and
And
just keep government assistance.
ultimately, that's what it's all for. It's only meant to aid. It's government aid. But you know us. We figure out we gonna figure our way through some shit. You feel me? So that's pretty. And for real, you got to look at it like they much rather have you in a ball somewhere. They much rather you have that mentality of saying, you know what, this is where we're gonna be at. Because if you realize your true abilities and your power, you've been done took over the world. So they
Right.
want to
So
keep you stuck in that mentality that this is all you get or this is all you deserve. You feel me? So that's why I was saying like it having that time frame on it, it kind of like the fire under a lot of great people. You feel me? Like that's my perspective on it. You feel me?
Ed, they call it a track for a reason. It's a track. They call it a project for a reason. It's an experiment. They're trying to figure out how we're going to be. They put us in these close corners, and they figure out why is crime so high, why is aggression so high. We right on sitting on top of each other. We ain't giving nobody no space. The crime in inner cities compared to crime in countries is far in comparison because they're not on top of each other. You got to go down the road. You want to beef with another.
And it's like, and that's my thing. At that point, what are y'all beefing over? You going like so when you like you said in the country, it's acres. You going miles down the road to go do what? You not even. It's
By
no
the
way
time I done made it down the second acre, I done already rethought it. You know what? This ain't even that. They ain't even that serious. Let me turn around, man.
You know what I'm saying? Or they gonna see you coming. They gonna see you coming from down the road. Like what? Like all right. So it ain't like how like living in the city is where you could just sneak up on somebody and shit. They gonna see you coming. Or like you said, you're gonna have enough time to blow some steam off and say, you know what, this ain't it.
It ain't even worth it, man. It's a trap, man. We gotta get out the trap, man. I'm imploring my black people, man. Buy some land, man. Get some. America is for sale. Get some land. If you look online, you can see how many in Brownsville, Texas, they got land for sale. That's where they just opened up, I believe, Elon Musk and his factory down there, or the starships and stuff. Like, go get some land. America's for sale. But our next joint is Travis Hunter marries longtime girlfriend with no prenup after previous reports of just being one of them. Can you get with it or you can't get with it?
I'm gonna say, listen, I'm gonna be easy on my guy, right? And say I can get with it. And this is why, right? Because if that's what he truly believes, I'm not saying that I would recommend it for my son, but I'm just saying if he's seen everything that we've seen. There's nothing that has happened on social media that he's unaware of. You follow me? To the point where they took themselves off of social media and kind of like tried to make their lives a little bit more private. Right. You feel me? So this is going to be the thing though, right? I'm not even going to call him a sucker, right? He clearly love her, regardless, right, wrong, or indifferent. So if he give her that opportunity and she take advantage of it, it say more about her than it will about him.
Right.
You feel me? Like I'm not getting into that simp and all that shit, right? Because he around Deion Sanders, bro. Yeah. He around prime time. You feel me? So it's like he even when I thought about like the prenup, John, the fact that he didn't get a prenup, he's making a statement by doing such, by marrying her, number one, and then by also not getting a prenup. He cares about her clearly. So my thing is, who am I to judge? My thing is also like, you tell me, you show me anybody that been in a relationship. I'm just talking about, I'm 38 years old, bro. You go find me somebody that's in a relationship that ain't never been with nobody in it. That was perfect.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying my point was, it happens, bro. People have pasts. And I feel like niggas trying to expose his chick was more like a clout chase thing than it was like, even if she was starting, like, I don't know that much, but I'm just saying, like, I just think that niggas are try to, like, they gonna always try to get one up on you. You feel me? Niggas got rent careers that they trying to get off the ground, so they gonna put out like they had her in the video and all that stuff like that. Come on, bro. I just feel like, for me, I feel like I'm an adult, bro. So I'm one of the things I'm biggest on is communication. So, and then also understanding. So when I get in this situation, it's because that's where I want to be. So it ain't nothing really a nigga could come to me and tell me that's gonna like deter me, because I already done made my mind up. You feel me? So I think if that's kind of like his mentality, I can respect it. You feel me? Like I said, if it don't turn out well, like I think it says more. It's a hell of an opportunity for her. And listen, man, the only joint that you really seen work out that way in that kind of manner is maybe Brian and his wife. But he known her since high school. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Maybe even Kobe and his wife, she stood down. You feel me? But for the most part, niggas be meeting these chicks in the clubs anyway. So it's like, what you think? You feel me? So I can get with that because he made a statement. He didn't allow society or social media to make the decision for him. If it don't work out, it'll probably be because she fucked it up. You feel me? Like he made his statement. He told you what he was gonna do too. He told you that after he got drafted, he was gonna marry, and he did exactly what he said he gonna do. That's a man. You know, even as a young man, you know, he displaying himself as a man. You know what I mean?
No, that.
Yeah.
No, can't get with it. Like, no prenup. He could have easily has gotten one of the most simple prenups is with a, I believe it's called a yours, mine, and ours. So what I come into the marriage with that's in my name, I leave with what you come into the marriage with that's in your name, you leave with, and what we develop with and get over time, and both of our names we sell and split. So I believe that that would have allowed him to be able to still manage because at the end of the day, he's still an investment. He's a player of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If he has a company, he has a business. If he has money, he got to allocate to those businesses. If he's going through a divorce, that messes up things. Or if you got a woman who's trying to take half your money or take you for child support or alimony or, you know, lawyer fees, you know, that messes up business. So I think for even just the business wise, he should at least got that kind of prenup. Then in regards to just her behavior and things, I mean, you really just seen, and I'm just looking from the outside looking in. You seen her stayed on interviews. She ain't really her type. You know, she told him she loved him by accident. She was on videos with guys exposing her, laying in bed with her, like, you know, things of that nature. And he just simple, you know, he love his girl. He don't care. You know, he's a really cool dude. Like, if you really watch him and how he is, he like to play the game. This man graduated on time. He done did all this. He put
He a fisher. You know, he like fishing and
he
shit
like
like
to play
that.
the game. He wears pajamas and stuff. He want to be a good. He don't want multiple girls. He want one girl. Like he want to look like Wanda from off Living Color, like Jamie Foxx. Like he seen that video. Yeah, you seen actually Shaw turn that law. He living his best life. So I'm happy for him, but I just feel as though it's, you know, knock on wood, man. I feel like it's going to have a bad ending simply because that girl, if you even look at pictures, they taking pictures. She got the ring finger, the ring turned like this. The rock is in the inside.
Already,
Already.
oh
Already.
yeah,
The
that's
rock is on
crazy.
the inside. So it's like, are you really with this man because you truly love him, or is it because of the clout? Is it because of the attention? He, you know, top draft pick, his
Well,
skill set, his energy. Like, what is it? And he talking
that
about Dion. Dion been divorced. Dion didn't mess with multiple chicks, so Dion can give him only the best advice he can. Shoot, Dion at this point, last interview I seen him, he said he just comfortable just being a father. Like he just want to
did you
work.
see? Did you see him? Did you see at the graduation? The sons tried to bring them together, and Dion ran.
Yeah, Dion got away from
He got
Dion got away from that mama so fast. He
yeah.
said, "Oh no!" He said, the devil is real. He won't tip me here."
Yeah, I see. I didn't know all the ins and outs of it, but what I will say is, like, I think even that part, like you said, like marriage being, I understand that aspect too, like marriage being almost like a business decision too. You
Yeah,
feel me? I think his intent, he really loved a girl, or if it's not that he loves the girl, he wants to be in love. He wants to have that genuinely because
right.
he don't have to. He don't have to. He could literally live a private life, the life that he lived, which is private
Yeah,
already. You feel me? And do his thing. You feel me? So I just think that I didn't know all the ins and outs, like with her being like shady,
yeah,
you know. But even from that, like I just feel like if that's how it turned out, it'd say more about her than it does about him. You feel me?
yes.
Yeah. So
My personal opinion. Then we can get to the next joint. I just feel like it's me personally. I feel like even I think they said in the Bible, don't cast your pearls to swine. I mean, and like, don't give your viable things to people who are low of nature things. Like, and we'll share our beautiful things that we have going on social media in the world. And in Islam, they call it the evil eye because everybody that's watching your videos, they're not looking at it with good intentions. They're not looking at it with good love, good positive energy. Everybody don't want to see you succeed and be happy. So it's like you got to be subjective about what you putting out there. Him putting his girl out there. If nobody knew what his girl looked like, would they want to expose him or clout chasing this and that? Would she even want the energy and want to be with him or had the energy towards him? Me posted, I posted my girl earlier and took it down immediately. Like, man, come on, I don't even want nobody just like, you know, that's for me. Like, God bless me with that. Like, it ain't for everybody to see. So, you know. And I ain't trying to say nothing because you got your girl over on your shirt. You know, I want you to
No,
wear
I'm
that
just
proudly. You know, you killing it. You know,
nah.
that's a proud thing.
That's how.
I'm getting one
Yeah,
too,
but
and I definitely will be wearing it for my girl. You know,
no, it's not that. Because I wouldn't take it like that because, like I said, everybody's situation is
yeah,
different. You follow me?
yeah. I just
Like
didn't want you to think I was like referring because I
no,
think
no, no.
it's like more to like social media. I think a lot of people we share too much on social media. Like, damn, we our successes and this and that. When people don't always want to see us succeed, and that energy, I believe, plays a part in the
Yeah,
long run
yeah.
of
I'm gonna tell you.
success.
I'm gonna tell you this. This is a flex for me, and a lot of niggas know why. Because I'm gonna tell you right for me because I love jazz. Excuse me, jazz. I'm sorry, but it wasn't me first.
Yeah,
These niggas ain't got no vision, so niggas can't tell me nothing about who, what, where, and when.
yeah,
Because when I came into the picture, I did something with it. You feel me? I'm
yeah.
not. This ain't simping. You feel
Um,
me? Like
love him.
and no, I'm just saying. Like I'm just telling you. Like and then even like I said to you, I done been through everything a man could be through, except for marriage
Right.
in itself, right? So I'm just saying, like niggas can't take my life and use it for their own personal like ego boost. Because I talked to you about, I just said this thing earlier when I said where I said like confidence. It's not cockiness. I have a certain level of confidence that even if you say something that pierce, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say,
Yeah,
I'm gonna respond in a way that will blow your mind.
yeah.
You think that you might crush me, but you can't crush me with some shit that I'm already aware of.
Right. That's the awareness is the biggest thing in this world.
And we almost 40. What you talking about? What we
Right.
talking about? We building this. We building it. We like you said when we blow up, bro. I want you to understand that Jazz gonna be standing next to me,
Oh, every
whether
time, yeah.
whether together or however it go. That's how I design this thing. You feel me? Like with purpose behind it. So regardless, niggas wouldn't be able to like deter me because I wouldn't allow it. You feel me?
Right. You
And
can't.
then it's like, and this is my thing too. I do homework too, so I be knowing shit.
Yeah.
So niggas can't. If niggas, niggas, whatever niggas want to say, is be like, all right, we been on that.
Yeah.
We been past that. I'm telling you, I done been through situations like this, Davon. Like I said, even with this joint, I see their heads poking out. They might not poke out on YouTube because that's the end game. They know if they poke out on YouTube, they helping us. You
Right.
feel me?
Yeah.
But they poke their head out on Facebook and on YouTube because they could do it incognito.
Yeah.
Niggas ain't low. I know exactly what's going on. So I've been going through that my whole entire life, bro. I've been going through that where it's like niggas, I just been going through that. And I think at this point at 38 years old, like I don't do anything for nothing. I do it with purpose.
Yeah.
So even when it comes to like people's past and shit, I don't hold that against people. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And my whole thing to anybody from my lady past, like y'all niggas, fuck is we talking about? Y'all
Yeah.
niggas could have been, I shouldn't even be here.
Right.
Y'all niggas don't. I shouldn't even had this opportunity to set my feet into the soil to position myself the way I do. And this is my thing to you too. Like it's deeper than the flesh.
Yeah.
Niggas is what is it? What do you call it? Shallow. You
Yeah.
follow me? It's deeper than the flesh. My reason for being and doing the things that I do is deeper than the flesh. Niggas like we did that when we was. I made my purpose in the flesh when I was 16, bro.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
What we talking about now? So that's my whole thing. Like purpose even before the like marriage and all that shit too, because people be rushing into marriage and be marrying the wrong people. So
Yeah.
niggas, I'm gonna beat myself. I'm gonna beat myself and say, dick up. Don't talk
Yeah.
that marriage shit to me because I'm just saying to whoever to whom it may concern. Niggas can't talk crazy to me because I'm confident in who I am and I know what I got myself into. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So any other and this is what I'm saying. The same thing I said about Travis, and with much love to my lady. One beer. I
Yeah.
know who I am. God talked to me a long time ago. He laid his hands on me. I go astray. You think you got dirt on me, or I heard this about that nigga and all that shit. That's me. But none of that shit is above God. Excuse me.
Oh.
None of it is above God. God laid his hands on me long before Young Black and Gifted. Long before Young Pesci, long before Eddie Randolph. So we gonna get to that. My fault. I had to go on a little rant. Just that wasn't for you. That was just for whomever
Nah,
took
this
me
nigga,
in their
it's just
concern.
it's cool. I'm going on one next episode, so it's cool. Just get your drink off. This one, my turn next one. Man, listen, this is what this show for, man.
It's
Cheers.
the blue cup.
I'm gonna sipping on some water for now. We
What you
got a
got to front?
last
But
one.
I'm sorry. Just in conclusion, like I ain't mad at young boy. Do what pleases you. You feel me? And if it turn and people might see it that way, but I just feel like that's she. Even if she could get over on them, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that's like
I just think my last name he should handle the business right. Even if you get I think it's even a prenup, but you can also get a postnup, which you can get like while married, figured out. And then I think I heard a good quote recently. They said you can either have a crazy loyal girl or a cool ass hoe. So we just might just have a cool ass hoe. So you
so.
never know.
Look, so let me ask you this, right? It was something that I kept wanting to go to, but it kept leaving my mind, and it just came back to me. What's the point of the marriage if you feel like you need to defend yourself within the marriage? I get the basic answer of like because anything could go left. I get the surface level answer, but I mean just like when you look at just like from a deep rooted space. Why so?
All right, so I can show you clearly from off my wallet. I don't know if you can see it from my wallet. It has PPPP on there. And it also has WWWJD, but that's not the J you thinking of. The PPP stands for Proper Preparation Prevents Poor Performance. If I'm
I get that.
prepared, I'm going to be fine. And the WWJD stands for What Would Julius Do? Julius is the dad from Everybody Hates Chris. You know, the one that was cheap. So I always think when I pull out my wallet, what would Julius do? How would he spend this paper? Like, how would he spend, 68 cents worth of rice or something? But I just think that and your mindset, like, and to get married, you always have to be prepared. Like, I'm prepared for death. Like, my kids, they hate it when I talk about death or things about life insurance, things like that. Like, you gotta be prepared for that. And then you also gotta be prepared. They said the human brain changes with every 7 years. What if you get to a woman and she meets somebody in y'all later years and you done got gained all this money and then eventually she want to take it and run off with it with this young nigga or something, or you meet a girl, or you meet somebody and you want to do something. So you can't never. Me personally, I would.
You said you Muslim. You can have multiple wives.
I
You can't just
can, but also,
build your foot.
yeah, but I'm alright. This one, she got multiple personalities. She enough for me. I'm cool. I don't need. I'm alright. I don't need three more. I got enough. So it was just to say, like, I just think there's always to be prepared. So that would be my only reason to ever have like a prenup, just to really be prepared because you never know what may happen. Like, people may switch up. You might get a mindset where you want to switch up, but my mindset would always be like, shoot, man, we together. We're gonna be in heaven together. We're gonna live together. We're gonna die together. Like, this.
But that's my point. Listen, bro. I'm not even like. That's why I don't even understand how people can propose and get shut down. It's like you ain't know what she wanted before you went and did all of that, bro.
Yeah, true.
Like dudes be out here proposing and be getting shut down. So even in terms of like marriage, because above like a business, but I think it being a business decision is a surface level thing, right? I think even like when you said what is it? Proper
Preparation prevents poor performance.
you know what I'm saying? If you gotta like that should be within your preparation. You should know if this is a person that you can trust or that you would have to like. So my thing is like even when it come to my personal relationship, I don't want to break the fifth or fourth wall.
I shoot an example. I think he breaks the fifth wall. The fourth.
So like I know. So look. So my point is like I'm not even. That's part of my preparation is being in a situation is having those conversations, knowing who I'm getting involved with. If at some point that person goes astray,
yeah,
that's to me that would I'm saying for me personally because of how I built myself. I don't be out in the clubs, bro. I don't be at the bars and shit like that. So people that I build my connections with is based off of. Look at me and you. It makes sense. I've known you. We go back to elementary school. Every part of our life from young teen. I remember you and Stacy when y'all was in when we was in elementary school. When we was teenagers to now we grown men. You know what I'm saying? So my point is To me, that's part of the purpose. So even when it comes to like, like me and you and what we build in here, I always talk about like I already talked to Jazz about, I won't break that fifth wall here, but I'm just saying like I would never want money to come in between something that's so purposeful and so great.
Yeah.
If money is your purpose, then me and you not the right, we not the right match. I want it,
Yeah.
but I don't want it enough to where as though I'm gonna go through this situation with you, face the money, and forget everything that we've been through, and say, you know what, that money is just too much.
Yes.
Like I don't even like my mind. And granted, I haven't been through anything that even entice me to think that way, right? But I'm just saying, you just said proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Yes.
If I allowed myself to make such a critical decision in that moment, then I clearly wasn't prepared to face whatever it was that I was that made me to make that decision. So that's what I'm saying, right? So I can't say for nobody else, but I know like as far as me and my relationships, they gonna be built off purpose. It may take time.
Yes.
You may have to have some tough conversations, but I think that's a part of the journey. That's a part of the growth. You feel me? It might be like pulling teeth. You feel me? Whereas though like you gotta have that same conversation over and over again. Slow it down.
Yeah.
Slow it down.
Right.
But that's a part of the preparation for the performance part when we get to performing. So if I'm just saying, and I'm not saying that that it couldn't happen to me, but I don't even got that on who I decide to entangle.
Yes.
That might not be the best, but entangle my legacy with. You feel me? This is bigger than me. So I make sure that I had those conversations, because then I give it an opportunity. If this, like, I make sure that we revisit that. If this is too big of a task for you, you got options too. You got options to be a part of or to not. So that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to marriage, right? I don't even understand how and I get it because it's benefits in that. That's why I say business. I get it. It's benefits in saying that you married, but people, that's why you bring the stat up on how like high the divorce rate is amongst that's going to be the next one when we come back in 2 weeks. The divorce rate on our age group, what we do between 25 and 40. What's the rate on that?
You said 25 and 40?
Yeah.
Shit. No, you rolling. The divorce rate for ages individual roughly 25 to 40 is 60%, more than half.
And you talking about like spending, you talking about big ass weddings, you talking about honeymoons, you talking about doing anniversaries and shit like that. Like, come on, what are we doing?
I can't tell you how many people I know, I ain't go to the wedding, but they spend a lot of money on the weddings, and then years later, he's sitting there like Michael Jordan.
So that go back to your point when you talk about, what is it? Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Because we ain't really preparing ourselves. We just more in tune to what it look like. Yeah. Than what it
They want the
actually
aesthetic.
is.
They want the view. They want the oh man, come to my wedding, man, see me on my big day. Me personally, I don't want to get money to be seen. I want to get money to disappear. I wouldn't want no big wedding. I know my girl would want all that, but I don't need all that. I don't care to be seen. Like you had to kind of basically get me to do the podcast.
Yeah, not real shit.
No, I'm out the way. Like I just like to chill, but
this is the most you've been seen, the most consistently you've been seen on like your face on social media. And like, yeah, they like, yo, they keep posting me and shit.
Like, man, what is he doing outside? This is all you're getting. But yeah, no, I think we got one more for you. You can get with this, you can get with that.
My fault, bro.
No, listen, we rolling. We got this. So man, OG.
It's the blue cup. I'm sorry.
OG Trump pardons NBA YoungBoy. He commutes the sentence of Larry Hoover, and he also pardons Todd Chrisley from Chrisley Knows Best.
I don't know Todd Chrisley, and I mean, I don't really know the significance in NBA YoungBoy, but what I will say about NBA, and I definitely want to talk about Larry Hoover, and I'll try to I won't try not to go like drag it on. As far as NBA YoungBoy, you gotta look at his lifestyle setup. The nigga live in Utah. So somebody that is connected to like his him being on a record label probably know Trump. They might have helped funding, and then they just returning a favor for a favor. Because I don't even understand the connection to that and why it's clearly political to some degree, but it don't really got nothing to do with NBA YoungBoy in itself. Like I don't think NBA. I wish that NBA YoungBoy realized his power because he got a lot of influence over these young bulls, and he could be a powerful voice and like directing them down a certain path. Because that's ultimately what he's doing, right? But that might be heavy for him to carry. But as far as like, I don't really know how I feel about that. I'm not saying that I don't want to see him in jail, but I don't really have no thoughts on that because I know it's like some shit that ain't really got nothing to do with YoungBoy. It's probably his people that's connected to him. As far as Larry Hoover, I would say the same thing with Larry Hoover, right? It's probably the same thing. It's probably a political move, right?
Yeah.
I've been seeing things. I was seeing like some of the things saying that he still got to serve a state sentence because I believe I'm assuming that he on federal time, but he still got another sentence that he would ultimately have to face, right? But my thing about Larry Hoover is, I just was talking about this when we were talking about Chicago. He was Chicago, and granted, he was a gang leader during his time, but he been in jail 50 plus years. He been in jail for a long time.
Yeah.
So part of that is like his abilities to like have the same thing when it came to the likes of Fred Hampton, Huey Newton. These was young black men who had powerful voices who could bring the people together. You feel me? So I don't really know the ins and outs of what exactly it was that got Larry Hoover locked up. But I know they've been fighting to try to get his case vacated, get him free for a long time. So I could definitely get with Larry Hoover because I don't know how much of an influence that he would have on Chicago or culture, period, because of the age gap. But he missed a lot of time. He might have had more opportunity to do something great 20 years ago. But I feel like now he might be too disconnected to like connect with like the savage culture of Chicago. But that's what happened to Chicago. Their leaders was thrown in jail. So it's a whole generation of young people raising themselves. Even if you think about Dirk dad, he was in jail. So he coming up as a young man all by himself, living off of what his dad did, hearing all the stories. Your dad used to be this way. He used to do that. So here we go, following the footsteps. He facing jail time now. So I would say like with Larry Hoover, if the purpose is in alignment, I could definitely get with it. And that would be the best bet for like somebody like Larry Hoover. For him to come out and like I don't even have him like associating himself with like or drugs or anything of that nature. I see him being like a powerful voice that at least try to like change the scenario. So I could definitely get with that. I don't know Todd Chrisley. I don't know that. I'll leave that one for you.
And shoot, Todd Chrisley's like he did it with a reality show, I think on USA. Funny white boy, man. When I say
Tosh 2.0?
No, not him. No, he's another way. He like rich. I forget what they do out there and wherever he live in Texas or something, but just funny, man. So he came home. Him and his wife, I think they got convicted for tax evasion, or they just doing something with the money. But I think it's cool, man. When you can release anybody from jail, I'm sure all were political respondents, basically all to get constituents. I think this kind of ensures Trump going to run 2028. He got the Hoover gang locked up. He got the Utah locked up. He got
going for a third term.
Yeah. Listen, so it's and I actually we can put this clip into, and I'll send it to you. You can edit it in. So there was a clip that came out, I believe, when he first ran for president. It's called the Trump-tastic Voyage. It tells you every year in which he's going to run for president. They have never been wrong yet. He ran in, I would say, in 2020, 2024. Then it has it in 2028. He's never, like I'm saying, I think he ran again in 2000. So every time he's run for president, they've had it. They've had him like the exact time he came down the elevator. They show all of this, and this was a Simpsons episode. They show all of this before it ever happened. So I'm telling you, I believe he's definitely going to run in 2028. It's already out there.
My disclaimer is I'm not the big. So when you ask me these questions, like about like political aspects, I don't really have a stake on it, or so a lot of these Jones, the first time I be hearing it be from you. So I'm giving you my genuine response in a moment. You feel me? So that was my disclaimer.
Nah, it's all good, man. Well, we wrapping up. You can get with this, you can get with that, man. Thank y'all for joining, submitting stuff, man. Y'all can always submit some stuff for us. Questions, man. Shoot, we even let y'all write the episode if y'all want to. If it's good, we'll review it. We'll run it.
You know what? This shit kind. Well, Drewski say this shit kind of catchy.
Yeah, get with it. So, our stat of the week, we always come bring y'all like a nice stat. This stat is according to a new study that's published by the Cerebral Cortex Scientific Journal. Yeah, they let me read in class. Becoming a parent causes men's brains to experience changes that support their ability to bond with their baby and become sensitive to their baby's needs, which is believed to be an adaptation crucial to our species survival. I think I
Okay.
do very much agree with that. When I first had Day, never had a baby before, never watched a baby. I used to be in the house practicing on the Pepsi bottle how to change the baby, just get right. And I can say that I believe that study simply because when Day was born, he stopped breathing like a lot in his sleep, and his mom didn't even notice it, but I did. It was like I could hear it a little bit, and I could, made her aware, and she started listening to it as well. But we ended up getting a sleep study done. The boy stopped breathing like I think 100 times an hour. So yeah, then I had to get his tonsils removed, his adenoids removed, two tubes put in his ear, and it was really like I feel like I was home because I would just lay next to him. Like I always say, I love the night duty when it comes to having a baby. Like I'd be out with the baby at night, I'd listen, and I just kept feeling like something was wrong. So I really couldn't believe that like our brains become more sensitive to the baby's needs because normally shit I'd have just been asleep through the night. Like, but it was just something was like telling me like he's not breathing right, so it's not. Something that's not aligning with his breathing. So I definitely agree with that study.
I would say, I don't know about how that has affected me per se. You feel me? Because I think with my children, I've always kind of like had this, like again, when I was younger, I didn't really know what to do or what to think or how to feel. You feel me? When I was younger and I became a father, but as I got older, I kind of like already had like my mind made up about who they were. You feel me? Now, as far as like health issues and stuff of that nature, I haven't really had to experience anything like that other than like, little bumper bruise. My baby girl ZZ, she fell, she bumped her head, had to get stitches and stuff like that. And obviously with stuff like that, if things like that take place, it kind of like, it concerns you as a parent, as a father.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think when it comes to my children, I'm so like defensive that I'm already thinking in the future. You feel me? Like I'm looking at them as a baby, but I'm probably not the best at being a parent when they're young.
Yes.
You feel me? I think with Kobe and Brazil, I think I've had the opportunity. I think I've gotten better. But when to my children before them, I hadn't really had the opportunity to adapt like mentally until they had gotten older to where as though I could communicate with them, they could understand. You know what I'm saying? So with like Kobe, but even with Kobe, I got a picture right now. Here it go right there. I'm gonna put that joint in there.
Yeah.
When he was 2 weeks old, I was putting him up near the basketball court. I just told you we was playing 1-on-1. You feel me? That's how his mind operates. So I always like, even with the younger kids, I kind of like had that thing where I'm like, so like thinking about the future. I want to enjoy them being kids, but I just want them to be okay when they become adults and or even when they teenagers and they out there making their own decisions and all that stuff like that. So I would agree. I wouldn't say that I just don't know if I really had the opportunity to experience that for myself because my mind is like.
Well, I'll give you just a therapeutic aspect or response to that. Just I feel as though maybe you didn't have that with your older kids because at that time you were still growing up. You're now at this point where you're mature and you're a man, you're confident in who you are. So now you're able to be that for Brazil and Kobe because you more adherent to them. So you can hear that voice because you grown now. You were still, wrestling with things in your youth then. So, but now, it's a more maturity, it's more aspect where you could actually hear, and adhere to their needs.
I would say this too. I said this thing where I had said like in a rap, I said, I think my daughter made me softer. You know what I'm saying? But I forget how I said it. But yeah, because she made me a lot more aware of my responses. You feel me? Because I used to thrive off ego. So even in parenting, you might be thriving off ego. I'm the man, I'm the dad. But for real, you want to be able to hear your children out, understand where they're coming from. You feel me? then you can respond because Brazil 5 should be 6 in October. She'll talk to you.
Yeah.
She'll tell you what's going on. She'll tell you exactly what's going on. And even when it comes to, like I said, Kobe, the youngest of all my children, he a boy, so I kind of, I could be a little, I like being rough with him, but I also huggy.
Yeah.
Give him a kiss on his forehead and all that stuff. That's my boy. So that was something that I've learned along the way is how to like be a little bit more softer, like with parenting. Like I think when I was younger, I had this ego thing about me. Even though I was cool, but if it came to like discipline, if you will, like I didn't have like a gauge. It was like yell or you're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I just keeping it funky. I think the children have helped me. Like the more and more that I've gotten older and just learned, like I said, just being transparent. Like my daughter's, I got a 20-year-old, a 21-year-old, and a 17, almost 18-year-old. Right? They tell me how they feel. So that's a learning experience too. Because even though I've tried to be a father, like I'm not gonna let nobody take away my efforts as a father. I wasn't perfect. You feel me? Hearing those things back from your now, think about this. This might be a little bit off track, but I'm just saying, like, I got parents who disappointed me, who failed me in some sense, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've always gotten the room or the space to express that and be understood and heard.
Right.
So I made a great decision to say I won't do that to my children, even if I fucked up. All I tell my daughters is, like, at the end of the day, I know you grown, but I'm still your father. You can say what you want, but keep it respectful.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not taking disrespect from nobody. I don't care who, what, where, and when. But at the same time, say how you feel. I don't want you to hold back how you feel, because I need to know about those things,
right.
Because I want to give you the space and opportunity to be able to work through it. So in that sense, I've probably been able to connect to my older children. I might not have been able to do it as much when they were younger, but as they've gotten older, that space has been created. And for real, it comes down to this. Davon, I'll tell you this. They got to grow up too, because that's kind of like a challenge for them. Because I'm, like I just said, I'm still their father. So it's like, the challenge for them is, how do I say how I truly feel, but still be respectful to my dad? Yeah. How do I do that? That's a challenge, because they might not want to curse, but I'm not saying don't curse. Yeah. But don't tell me, call me out my name and all that shit. But if I did something like that, when this took place, and I remember this certain circumstance happened, and this is how this circumstance made me feel, and this is how I felt about you after having to watch that. You know what I'm saying? I can take that. You feel me? But I think respect should be in order, for sure. You know what I'm saying?
It's the older you get, and I say this because you really made a lot of great points, man. I'm gonna be thinking about these things as I get off later, man, because I want to. Yeah, I got children that's younger now. Eventually, they're going to get older, so I'm gonna have to really, be cognizant of those things. But I really feel as though when you get older, and we even see it in grandparents, but a grandparent will treat their grandchild well, and they say it far better than they did you. But we don't realize that that's our second opportunity to get right the things that they've gotten wrong. They don't realize that as a parent, we're learning on the fly. Our parents were learning on the fly. They've now had a mustered enough experience that now when you have kids, they know how to talk to their kid a little nicer. They know how they adhere to their needs. They know why they're having a tantrum or why they're going through. Don't scream at them, don't hit them. They're like, damn, why you done got so soft? Because those years then gave them more knowledge and know that this is the way I'm supposed to be raising these kids. We as parents getting older, I dated 25, Bella 29. The older I get, Layla young, she getting it the easiest. I'm not saying I don't sit there, I'm not screaming at her, I'm not this and that, it's principle. Yes. So it's older, the older I'm getting, the better they're getting, and they're all getting it as kids. I just think that we maturing and getting better. The older you get, you're going to be a little bit more sensitive to your kids' needs. And damn, what they're going through. I went through the same thing. So I ain't got to yell at them. I ain't got to scream at them. Let me figure out what's going on. What's different? What's changed in you? Like, why are you acting this way? So it gets to that. And I think it's just the grandparents are like the perfect mirror to put up to see how that is. Because the older you get, I feel like the better you become.
Absolutely. And your experiences if you allow them to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because some people just intend to live life foolishly. But I think like what I was speaking about us, like I think I'm confident in saying like life experiences help us also.
yeah,
You feel me? I haven't always been the best version of myself, and I'm still not the best version of myself. But I'm just saying, like what I offer up to you is a more refined version of what people may have once known.
yeah.
And see, that's what I'm saying too. People, that's the thing about society too. People will try to hold some shit. You know. So I'm gonna keep it funky with you, Davon. I got to, because I nigga said to me like, "Then y'all used to be fighting back in the day," and I'm like, "Dog, like we grown."
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like that's not a topic of conversation.
Yeah, like that's
We
when
done
you
tried.
doing what you doing in your youth is come on, your youth, we're children, man. So that's all the ladies when I hit in my youth, y'all don't count. You know, I didn't hit you in my adulthood. We was kids. You know, don't even hit.
Just, I'm
So
just saying to you. I'm just saying to you that this thing, though, Davon. Like I got much respect for you, dog, as a man. So I would
I'm
like
getting back,
anything.
man.
This is my purpose that right here. This YBG network. This is something that I take serious. I wouldn't even play with my shit enough to even play around with you like that. You
Yeah,
feel me? So for me to reach out to you, I see you as somebody that's formidable.
yeah.
That's a great fit for what I'm trying to
I like
do.
that word, man. I like that word
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Formidable. Formidable foe.
you know, you know what I'm saying. So I'm just saying to you, like even when I heard it, it just let me know like the mentality that they were on.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like we at the end of the day, I respect you as a man. I see you as a father. Even the job that you carry out on a day to day basis. You feel me? Like so that's why when I tell you like the things I say to you like through text and all that stuff, that's genuine shit. You feel me? That shit don't matter. And if it did, we probably wouldn't be sitting here. We wouldn't be. You know, I'm saying if it mattered to you, if it mattered to me, we wouldn't be. We wouldn't be
I've
sitting
told you it takes energy to really go out here and just like people. Just like who goes over childhood shit or things like nigga, we've been developed, walk past that, see each other. Nigga, I remember when I seen you at 69th Street, you was working at the store. I'm like, oh man, my man, like see, so it's never be like, man, people go through stuff as kids, especially you gotta think as young men growing up in that society in that atmosphere. The conditions are really made for you to want to fight.
I think like having a father for me, I can't say so much for you. I just think the way that I was operating at that point in my life, had I had like a strong male figure, I'm not gonna say a father, but a strong male figure to kind of like help me deal with being a young man, I wouldn't have found myself in those kind of predicaments.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying? So I'm telling you too, Davon. If people watch it, if they don't, my point is too, like, I don't know. I don't think that I'm the most likable person for whatever reasons. People might got reasons not to fuck with me. You feel me? But my point is, it's probably about either some shit that they heard and this is what I'm saying too, some shit that they heard. And you know how that shit be, bro, when it's like, somebody hears something negative about you, they don't even question it. They don't try to confirm it. They just run with it. You feel me?
Wayne, we lions don't care about
Okay.
the
I just
opinions of the
wanted to say.
sheep. Like, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Listen, welcome to the Break Dad podcast. We've been hated before, we'll be hated some more. Like, it's life. So we not tripping over
Double
nothing
salute.
y'all talking about. It's life. Talk, don't talk, watch, don't watch. We still gonna record, we still gonna live our life. Y'all know what y'all eat don't make us shit. So have a good one. Like,
Yeah, no, salute to you though, Davon. Like real shit though. I just wanted to like lay that out there. You know what I'm saying? This was the perfect place to do it. You feel me?
got it, man. And this is perfect segue into our Q&A section, man. We
Mm-hmm.
running a little over today, but we got some bangers at the end of the joint, so we got to get through this joint today. Like, so this question is from Trey. He states that I have a difficult time saving money. I have multiple children who are constantly in my pockets. What advice
Damn.
do you have to save money and to limit my spending on my children?
This nigga crazy. This nigga said limit my spending on my children. No, I would just say like budgeting. Like I living outside of necessities, bro. Like I think we talked about this before. Like I think we get so caught up in like things that we start spending outside of our means. I think like just stick to the basics, bro. Stick to the basics and work from there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? If it's gonna work out. You know, I've been in some tight situations financially, and then I just stayed the course, and then literally like drop of a hat, it worked out. you know what I'm saying, by just staying the course, whether it was a promotion at the job I was at, or a better opportunity somewhere to make more money. I think that it'll definitely work out if you stay the course. But I feel like just focusing on what's important. The basic needs of the children is what's important. If you got a goal, you gotta try to factor that into your spending. You feel me? You definitely need to clothe them. I mean, I'm sure you got a roof over their head. Definitely want to clothe them. You definitely want to feed them. Anything, if anything outside of that is, if you broke and you got money. I mean, if you got money after that and you broke, it's probably because you might want to look into that area of things, like as far as like your spending habits. You feel me? Like I think a lot of people go through it, and I just think just going to the drawing board and looking at where you go into the your bank account, it'll tell you where your money went for sure. You feel me? So I would just say, like, just going back to the drawing board and seeing what makes sense and what don't.
Trey, great question. And financial literacy is an amazing thing. The first thing I would definitely say is you need to document every dollar you got coming in and every dollar you got going out. I know people that use the 50-30-20 rules, whereas though 50% of the income that you make should be going to your major necessities like housing, cars, insurance, mortgage, things of that nature. 30% should be going towards things you want, and the other 20% should be going towards savings. So if you got that 30%, you can spend on, family doing things, and the 20% should be put up. So you should always operate every month as basically like 80% of your income is just, is there, but the other 20% isn't. So when you believe, like I said, proper preparation, you always, if you prepare. What they say, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
You gotta get ready.
You stay ready. You know what I'm saying? I think that as you can look it up, I think they say 50 to 60% of Americans right now can't prepare for an unexpected $500 bill. Like if something was to happen today or tomorrow, most people can't go into an account and get $500. But yet we running this and that. So I think if you account for every dollar that you got coming in, going out. A good quote I ever heard too was, if your income is less than your outgoing, your overhead is going to kill you, meaning your house. Like a lot of people, you not making enough money to even live where you living at. So figure out with the money. And then as far as trying to spend less on your children, they got to help you out with that. Parks is free. Libraries is free. Check online, man. I was quick to look up stuff with doing. I had Dede and Bella younger, or just be me. I'm looking up things I could do for $5 for free. Man, they had done Taekwondo for free trial, rock climbing free trial, and anything I look up, like swimming free trials, like, and it's just these experiences. So you'll think you'll have these kids and you'll get them in these things, and they get to see what they like to do. The library is amazing to go to. You got books, you got computers, you got different things. And we're so big on thinking we got to go out here and spend money on it to have fun. Like, no, man. Like, and then if you're going to like places like Main Event or something, or the places with the socks and stuff, keep the socks, man. You don't know what you got to pay. Just hop in, let them jump. You're taking the risk. It's liability issues, because if they get fall, you can't sue them. But, maybe pay for one or two of the kids.
Hold on. I'm sorry, bro. This must be daughter. What's going on, babe? I'm still recording. Hello? Okay. Because that.
Yes,
it's not. Yeah, and it's probably my daughter. My daughter probably act. I mean, but we'll get to that. Go ahead. What was you saying? No, I'm sorry. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I was just saying that basically it's just to monitor, like just monitor the spending you're doing, and then also it's a lot of free events and things you can do with the kids that it shouldn't hinder you from having fun with them. Like it's a lot of things that's not costly. Chuck E. Cheese like $20-something for 45 minutes. Like if you can tire a child out for 45 minutes, what are you doing? Like. So
yeah, I would agree. It's definitely all in like just what you're doing and what you got going on, and I think even instilling that mentality within your children too, because I was the same way when I was a kid. I wanted to have all the designer clothes. It's so funny. My mama bought me. I always tell the story of how my mom bought me my clothes that fit. I wanted to wear baggy clothes, and she said, "No, I'm buying you clothes that fit." Go ahead. She got it from Old Navy, and I thought it was so funny. 10 plus years later, that I wear my clothes that fit. I ain't wearing no I know they wearing baggy clothes today, but no, like we was outrageous when we was teenagers.
Yeah.
You feel me? Wearing probably a size 16, wearing a size 38. You know what I'm saying? That type joint. So But yeah, definitely just budgeting and making sure that you be mindful of where that money is going. Yeah, I would agree. So I got a question. It's from Felicia. That's what I was doing in my phone beforehand. I was trying to find the question. It's from Felicia. So the question goes: how important is it that your spouse and or your children carry your last name? That's kind of like a marriage joint.
She both my kids. I mean, she two of them is Hills. The other two got my
Yeah.
mom's last names. Uh, just I think I mean it depends on how you feel or
Hmm.
I would really want definitely my son, at least a son, to have my last name to pass down the legacy. To
Hmm.
keep it going. I definitely I don't even have my father's last name. My father's
Hmm.
last name was Wilder. I'm a Hill,
Hmm.
but I'm fine with passing down that because I'm passed down my grandfather's last name. He was a Hill. And then my son's Hill, so and then they'll make their son's Hill. So I don't mind that at all. I love that legacy of being a Hill. So I think it's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. I would say the same. Not all my children have my last name. I want to say three of my children have my last name. Um, it's reasonings for that, but I'm not breaking the fifth wall or the
Yeah,
fourth.
yeah,
I
I
understand.
was breaking fifth wall for my reasons.
And as far as my spouse, I would say it's important. I would just say like I wouldn't put it in front of like other things like purpose like that. Like I said, that sounds like a marriage question to me.
Yeah,
And I think marriage, if that's desired, it becomes important within a relationship. But we also want to make sure that we get married under the right premise and for the right reasons. You feel me? Because again, like I said, I done pretty much did a lot of things except get married. So once
yeah.
I decide to do that, like I'm locking in. I feel like we should be locked in. So now within marriage, I would like for my wife. I would like for my wife to carry on my last name, but it would ultimately be up to her. Her last name means something too. You feel me? So I would say like if
Let
again
me
like I
find out. Let me find out. You gonna hyphenate like Jay Z. You gonna be Carter
no, because
Knowles.
my son. I'm saying what I'm saying about my future wife. I'm telling you what I said about her, what it is. But my son got my last name,
Yeah.
so more than likely she gonna be okay with taking the last name because my son got it. You feel me?
Did you
But I'm
know
just saying,
just kind of to get on to that? Did you know that Jay Z his last name is not Carter anymore? His name is Knowles Carter. He hyphenated his
nah,
last name as well.
you're
I
lying.
swear, man, Google it right now. You think I'll be saying shit just to say?
Chill, dog. Let me see. Sean, is it Sean? Nose Carter? That's funny as shit, dog. He burnt out if he did that. It definitely popped up. Sean Nose Carter.
Jay Z
And then
actually
see,
took Beyonce's last name when they got married in 2008. According to Boston.com, Sean changed his name to Sean Knowles Carter.
I check references. I on Wiki is Sean Corey Carter. Who said that, George? That's probably like
That
Shan
is
or
on the IMDb Explore page, and if you can actually go to the
Sean Knows is a Canadian-born actor. We'll see. I'm a dive a little deeper into it and see what I come up with. But I would just to finish it off. I would for real, bro. Whatever makes sense, whatever works.
yeah,
And I want my children to carry out my name, but I also want them to carry out the legacy. Most importantly,
yeah,
you feel me? Like the name, the name matters, but not as much as the purpose and the legacy for me. You feel me? Like I want them to because at this point they don't have like my oldest children. So two of my daughters and one of my sons. Yeah, two of my daughters older. So granted, I may have given them names, named them and stuff like giving them their first name. But as far as like, I wouldn't make it a big deal. Like it wouldn't.
yeah.
I don't think I would be so focused on other things like that wouldn't even matter
No.
to
All right.
me.
Good question, Felicia. Thank you for
Hmm.
man. Please, man, tap in. I think he gonna pop in. Ed is the greatest editor I've seen in years. Like he's just
Yes,
amazing. These
sir.
things just pop in. Like so, man. Thank
Hmm.
you. Keep submitting y'all questions, man. We're about to get into the last segment of the show.
The Man Cave. Brought to you in part by the YBG Network.
We got
Let's
some good
go.
ones. Uh, First off, we have top 5 worst TV movie dad.
I'll let you take that one because that's one that you know what I mean. I'll let
All
you take
right,
that one
so
over and
number
then I'll
one,
follow up.
this you could do is this is a thought vault. You can get the people you can pop the people in. like, add the editing. All right, so number one, we got the dad from Matilda. Horrible. Horrible. Man, he's selling cars, junk. He done left her with the lady, the teacher. Yeah. Basically, yeah. She signed the paper. She adopted him. He got out of there. He went about his business. So he was horrible.
He said, I was just watching it earlier. He said, she like, Dad. She trying to like get her powers up. She like, Dad, yell at me. He said, yell at you. I'm going to come in there and beat you on the head. Like, he was terrible.
He was horrible. I'm going to go with one that's probably people probably not thought about. The dad from He Got Game.
Denzel character? Okay.
He's the Shuttlesworth's father. Killed the mama, went to jail, came out there, you saving prostitutes and shit, trying to get your son to commit to college. Yeah, you was the anti-hero. You wasn't a good father. All right, next we go. I thought about this. You see, I thought about this. Next we got the dad from Home Alone. You didn't leave your son not once, but twice. And you obviously was working with the gang members or something, because how else was you affording that big ass house with all these people in there taking these vacations? You had to be working with the mobsters.
What was his name? I forget his name. McAllister.
Yeah, Mr. McAllister. Mr. McAllister was doing something.
Yeah, that house is nice as shit.
It was too nice. Number 4, we got the dad from Crooklyn. You ever seen the movie Crooklyn? That nigga was a bum. They send the lights down. You worrying about doing jazz and all this extra stuff. The wife going through cancer. You sitting here doing you. Come on, man. You wasn't no help.
That a bum.
He was a cool ass bum. I just want to focus on my music. Sound like the guy from Martin. My first love is my music. Like, come on.
What was his name?
I don't even know his name, but he was hard. Yeah. Oh, Roscoe, then last but certainly not least, the worst dad, TV dad. See, this might be neck and neck. See, honorable mention to Tywin Lannister, who was from Game of Thrones. He did some horrible things to his kids. But the worst TV movie dad of all time is Frank Mitchell from Moesha. Frank, you dirty dog. These people thinking Dorian was just your nephew and it's really your son. You had Dorian thinking this woman was raising him and he done had sex with this woman, told Dorian he was a mistake and everything. You got Dee, the wife, and somebody else's child in there, and she thinking it's just his nephew. Frank was horrible. And you want to be the moral police talking about Moesha. Don't mess with that one. But the whole time, you done got a whole nother, she said it's your child somewhere down the road. Like, come on, man.
Yo, you crazy, man.
Frank, man, I'm just gonna messed up a little. I got keep kind of custody me, Lord forgive me. But no, man, I don't like Frank, man. I was hurt. When I seen that episode on UPN, I was hurt, man. I just turned my TV off. I ain't even watched nothing afterwards. I think the Parkers came on afterwards, but I didn't even want to watch them.
So mine is more like I didn't really get too many movies, but mine are more like TV, and I think they're pretty fitting. So in no particular order, I'm gonna say Peter Griffin.
Hands down.
Peter Griffin was terrible, dog. He was doing any and everything. You gotta watch the random, either the Jones on YouTube or the late night episodes where they get crazy, like the Jones that ain't making the TV. Yeah, he was terrible, man. If you see Family Guy, you know exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Homer.
Oh, yeah, definitely Homer.
Homer was choking the shit out of Bart. That was like that's like my main memory of like his interaction with Bart.
Yeah.
You feel me? Was choking the shit out of Bart. Hank Hill. I thought
Hank Hill was a bad dad.
I ain't like him. I ain't like his style. He was too stubborn. You feel me? Yeah, he was too stubborn in his style. You feel me? And Bobby, he was a kid, but he was trying to like live his life. He was trying to figure out a way to survive, be a part of society.
Yeah.
But Hank Hill, he was a little too uptight for me. You could come sit right here, Z. You come sit right here. So I might make the list because my daughter in trouble now. You feel me? So I might end up having to substitute one of these picks and put myself in there.
Don't do it.
I say again. So next I'll say American Dad. You see where I'm going?
Yeah. Like, your theme is mostly is
the cartoons. You feel me? But I say the same thing with American Dad. They all just was like they had like with the exception of maybe Hank, but Peter and Homer and even the American Dad, they had like a level of like carelessness. You feel me?
Yeah.
That they was providers, they was there,
Yeah.
but they had like a level of carelessness that I just thought wasn't safe for children and shit. Like it was funny, but it wasn't safe. So this, I mean, even though I say it in no particular order, my number one pick is Martin's dad,
Off of the TV show Martin?
Martin Lawrence.
Because he never showed up.
He never had it. You never seen this nigga, dog. You never seen it. You always see my mama. My mama bitch.
You just gave the greatest black dad not there, Joe. God damn.
You never see this pop. You never. He
And
never
she
talked
said in the
about
first
it.
episode too. Boy, you look so much like your father.
Whole time it looked like he looked like his mom. He drew it. His pop wasn't there.
See?
And Martin was he was living. He was doing a bunch of shit. You feel me?
Yeah,
So, yeah,
damn.
they my top five first TV dads.
All right, stand in the top five. Top five comedians.
Okay, so hold on. Let me go first with that, right? Because I know you got your list. And this is in order. So I'm gonna go from 5 to 1.
Gotcha.
Number 5 on the list, I got Mike Epps. Mike Epps, I just his style. His stand-ups could be a little dry sometimes because I don't know he do any writing. I think he just kind of like freestyling shit.
Yeah.
And you might watch multiple jaws where like I already knew this joke. You feel me? But I think for the most part, if you like kicked it with Mike, he'll probably have you cracking up. And then for the most part, just our introduction to him, he was super funny.
Oh yeah, that was like that role was life changing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he one of those guys that I think if he kind of like put a little bit more effort into his craft, side of like even in movies, I like him in movies because that's a little bit more structured.
Yeah.
Because he got a character to base his comedy off of, opposed to his stand up. But for the most part, I think he really has the ability to really crack you up and shit. You feel me? Yeah. This might be surprising to you, but number 4 on my list, Adam Sandler. You know, I think Adam Sandler. Yeah,
very surprising.
Yeah. And for me, it's more about outside of his because he's at this point in his career, he's so far into like content that it might not always be funny. It might have a comedic relief to it.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite things about him is that he got his core group of people that he always work with, and you'll always see those people in movies with him. So even if it was earlier on in his career, it kind of reminded me of this thing we on the other podcast we did. Like I forget, we might have did like top 5 black comedians. You feel me? But I forget what it was, and I didn't do the Wayans brothers. This is a sidebar. I didn't do the Wayans brothers because of what they do. The only person I could think to compare them to was Adam Sandler.
Right.
And it's like Adam Sandler is Adam Sandler. You feel me? They the Wayans brothers. They the Wayans family.
Yeah.
You feel me? So obviously those earlier movies were funny. Those mid and late 90s contributions, and just the fact that he always put his folks on, I could really rock with that.
Yeah.
You probably not gonna like my list. Number 3, Jim Carrey.
All right.
Yeah, I know this is the Black Dad podcast, but I'm being honest with you. Yeah. So Jim Carrey, I would say the same thing, minus like the the working with people and putting people on. But I just think his level of, especially with those pet detectives, obviously he's somebody that came up on and Live in Color. Back in the day, we just talked about the Wayans brothers. He came up underneath of them. Yeah. But I think once he stepped into that world where he was doing his own thing, he's carried it out well. When you talk about funny movies, there aren't too many funny movies, if any, that he's done that weren't exactly that.
Right.
So I think whenever he's allowed to kind of like just have that space to be funny, he delivers every time. You feel me? And he got some classics. Number 2 on my list, kind of cliche. I'm gonna go Eddie Murphy. You feel me? I'm gonna do Eddie Murphy for the classic stand-ups.
Yeah.
Of being a pioneer in a way, carrying the torch from the guys that the forefathers that came before him, but also stepping over into that, taking his talents from being a stand-up comedian to going on that screen. He got, life is one of like my favorite movies of all time. Obviously, you got the Nutty Professor. What else? What else? Am I missing some? Doctor Doolittle.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Once you start getting Doctor Doolittle, he started getting a little like he started to fizz out a little bit to me.
yeah.
But I just think that was just him being like successful and like you know. But for the most part, I think he kind of like set the tone.
Yeah.
But my number one guy, and you might not like this, but this is what it is. I gotta go Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, my number one guy of all time. It's not to this day. It's nothing that I don't support or think that Kev
So I
does.
need some emojis on this motherfucker so I can put some thumbs down and shit or something. I need some props or something.
Kev the
Like
top guy. To me, for the same reason, if you look at my list, when you watch it back,
you
you'll see
like physical comedy. You like the funny guy. That's what you. I see all of that within
and for his accomplishments.
and put his
Nobody is.
team on. Yeah,
Yeah, he's never. Nobody else has done it like that. I get it, right? Because I've had these debates before. Like, obviously, you see, I didn't put Chappelle up there, and that's no slight to him. I just kind of like wanted to be a little. I wanted to add the Jim Carreys and the Adam Sandlers. So
Yeah.
once I do that, it ain't really no room for like a Chappelle on my list. But I also structured it in a certain kind of way to like kind of like make it to have it make sense. But
yeah.
Kev pretty much Eddie Murphy's style and transcended. So Kev number one on my list. Who you got?
You know, that's a respectable list. Honorable mention to Cat Williams. I love Ali Sadiq. I'm actually gonna watch his special tonight. It's called My Two Sons on YouTube. Check it out, man. If y'all want something funny to watch, he's a great storyteller.
Mexicans got boots on. What do you say? Mexicans got boots on. What that mean?
They can say some shit. But I would say my top five. Number five, I'm gonna give it to Chris Tucker. His old stand-ups when he did man, even with the movies too, but Pissed Off, man. Roaches, they answering my phone. They hanging up on people, they're not clicking over. His
What do you
stand-ups.
say? So you talking about the stand-ups.
Yeah.
But see, for me, it would be Chris Tucker and the movies. What diamonds? What was that? Money Talks?
Yeah, Money Talks. I love that. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, he was definitely funny in the 90s.
So yeah, he just, man, his stand up, the presence. I love like the stand up. So you can tell that from my list. Number four, I got Robin Williams.
Absolutely not. My fault. Absolutely not. Put it down. You doing no. I'm sorry. My fault.
So I got Robin Williams, really the stand up comedian. God rest his soul. Killed himself, but such an amazing comedian. Then the impact he had, from Patch Adams and the Genie, and just all the various movies that he was contributing. So gotta.
Me and Jazz may have watched a Hook because I was.
Man, one top 10 movies.
We might have watched that a few, probably like sometime last year. We watched Hook, so yeah.
I'm gonna go same person. I'm gonna stick with George Carlin. You never watched him, like, man, political mind, amazing, like so intelligent, man. He was telling things like how they were like 70s, 80s, 90s, and people still can listen to it, and it's still relevant to this day. My number two, I got Dave Chappelle, and most intellectual comedian I think is out there. Like, can really say some crass and rude shit, and then just break it down. It was funny, man. I feel like he can reverse
his style. I think his style, his setup,
yeah,
for like his ultimate like punchline is fire. I like how he do that. I love how he do it.
He can reverse engineer a joke. Like he's just like that amazing. And my top comedian of all time, man. Rest in peace to this man. You didn't hear Eddie Murphy on my list. You didn't hear Richard Pryor on my list. Mike Epps, Cat Williams. Listen, Bernie Mac is my top comedian of all time. He was sat on stage in the Kings of Con. That's why they said he had to close the show out. You couldn't go on after Bernie. Bernie would tear the crowd up, and then like, how you gonna follow that? Like, so he was still the show every time. Everything he talked in, and then from his TV show, it's like probably one of the greatest TV shows ever for a black dad. So.
I just seen this joint earlier where he was telling his story about how he scared his wife. You feel me?
Yeah.
And he was like on a show, and he basically the joke was something like, she was like, "You better not go out," and he was like trying to prove he was tough, and he went out. So now he out, and his friends like he's sweating, but his friends like, what's going on? Like, ain't nothing wrong. I'm about to call her right now, let her know. So he like, listen, I be home when
I
I be
said that
home.
they like put your mom on the phone.
Put your mama on the phone. Yeah, yeah. Put your mama on the phone.
Yeah, I ain't talking that shit to you. Oh man, but we thank you, man. We got some good lists. I think we got just 2 last questions left. We gonna get out of here. Got the kids in the squad and them waiting for me. I think she making lamb
This
chop
game,
tonight. The game on yet?
it should be. It'll be coming on soon if it ain't
Oh
on
yeah,
yet.
yeah,
But
yeah. We wrapping
we
up.
in good timing.
Yeah. So your first celebrity crush?
I went through this thing with. I worked on this with Jazz, and I couldn't really come up with one because I don't know if I really. I don't know, but what I did come up with, for the sake of coming up with one, I said, and you might get a kick out of this. Was what was her name? Myra? It wasn't Myra from
Maya?
Family Matters.
Oh no, Myra from Family Matters. Yeah,
With the pigtail, with the pony.
the one that was she was Steve Urkel girlfriend. Yeah,
No. Go back. See, you going back. You go. No, you got to come to.
not
She
Laura,
was
not Laura. Myra.
not Laura.
Myra was his
No.
girl.
And she was Laura's little sister.
Oh, you talking about the one that she was on there for a second, then they switched her and then recasted her.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? She had and she would wear like the
The
long
thing.
ponytail.
Yeah.
It wasn't a it was like a pigtail, like a ponytail, like a two. I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. That's the only, and only I can only say her. Only say her because like when I think about her, like she, what's up? Sir? You home now? You back? Say what's up.
Oh, cool.
All right, go ahead. Go to mommy. I'm almost done. Okay. Yes, I know. Go to mommy. I only say her because I was just having. I don't any. It's other girls, other movies and stuff. I mean, other shows that came on. But I don't. To say a crush, that was my thing. To say I had a crush on them, I don't think I could say that. So I dug deep into my memory to say who was somebody. So I said the girl from Family Matters, the daughter from Family Matters.
That was a deep cut.
I'll pop her. We'll show who she is.
For me, the year was 1996. I will never forget this video coming on, man. She had on this all white skin tight suit. She had the hair look like Elmira. Listen, Tony Braxton, bro, and the You Making Me High. Man, boy, I probably got my first booty that joint in '96. Like, boy, I was mesmerized. Sure, my mom probably looking at me. Why is this boy staring at this TV like
That's funny as shit.
Man, that's probably the first time I fell in love with just.
You still feel that way about her?
Nah, I got my own version of Tony Braxton in here. You know, she making me high.
My man.
You know, she get me right.
Word.
She means the world to me. You know, another sad love song. That's mine right there. So I don't need Tony. I got mine.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, she was something else. I say Tony was my first crush. Like, so it was like Tony, then it was like Aaliyah. Man, I love Tisha Campbell too. Martin, like that's when you first get into the Red Bones. Like, so I love that these girls probably like the aesthetic to me. Like, I love that.
Just to be clear, like it was definitely like TV. You know, chicks that was on TV that I thought was cute, but I don't think I was crushing on them. Like, dang, I can't wait this. But I definitely could give you. I can name those people if that was the conversation. Like people that I thought was attractive in the '90s. Yeah, for sure.
No, man, this has been an amazing episode. It's the last question of the Man Cave segment. Then we wrap it up, get out of here, watch the game. Who you got tonight before we get to the last question? Got Knicks.
Pacers, bro. I said Pacers in 6. If you go up on the Facebook, I said Pacers in 6. After they split the games in Indiana, I knew that the Knicks would defend home. They had to. They lost the first 2 games at home. They had to get one, and I figured they would. But I think tonight is the night where like the Pacers put their foot down, and say like enough is enough. What I will say, this is what I will say. That if it goes to 7 games, you might as well the Eastern Conference may as well just chalk up their chances. Anybody, whether it's the Knicks or the Pacers, they giving Shea and them way too much time to like relax and get prepared. Even though the finals have to start, they will start on Thursday. But Shea and them ain't played in like 4 or 5 days already.
Yeah.
So I just think if they end up having to go to 7 games, they gonna be whoever that come out of the East gonna be burnt out. You feel me? So I think the best bet is for Indiana to win the night. I got Indiana. But I will say if Indiana can't seal the deal tonight, I don't know that they could go into New York and win again. I just think that New York is going to be too tough of an atmosphere for them to come up out of in a game 7 to go to the finals. So, but Indiana.
I got the big bodega, man. The big bodega, big purr, big cat. I got him coming out, have a big game tonight. Knicks in 7. It will be the OK versus the New York Knicks in the finals, like Adam Scheffler predicted at the beginning of the NBA season. I think it's going to be a tight one, Pause. But it's going to be an amazing game. I just got them. Of course, yeah, I don't think nobody's beating OKC this year. I got OKC in 6 in the finals. Probably 5. It depends how they get down. Yeah. But the last question of the night: if you won $7 million today, what would you do?
If I won $7 million today, what would I do? Give me a second. Oh, I was trying to make my screen go black and shit. I'm a disappear. I was trying to make the show disappear. That's just my answer. Disappear. I got so many like things to take care of and things that I would do, but that's you know what I mean. We keep that close, but for the most part, it's going to be I'm a shut things down for a little while, and we're gonna get some things in order because $7 million, that's generational money. You got the opportunity to create the lifestyle that you always wanted with that. You can't just live off of 7 million. You can't just live off of $7 million and just spend it. You would have to like place that, invest it, put it in certain places so that it makes sense. So that would be like the thought processor for me. So I would definitely shut down for a little while until I get things together. But they said if I hit the lottery,
you wouldn't. I wouldn't tell nobody, but they would be signed.
No.
This whole setup.
We gonna have a whole setup. We gonna like we talked about a studio last episode.
Yeah,
shit gonna be lit. You feel me? So I would say like I would definitely like shut it down because I wouldn't want to make the right decisions. I wouldn't want to get caught up in being so hype about having money that I mess it up. You feel me?
Yeah. $7 million. Of course, that's generational wealth, man. Putting in some assets, not liabilities. Self-wealth would be the biggest thing for me. I heard a good quote. I always say I heard a good quote, but the guy, he said, you put about $2.5 million into a savings account. You live off the interest from that. You get a 25-year fixed mortgage. You got the money put up to pay that, whereas though you're not stressing to pay your mortgage every month. You get a Japanese car, a reliable vehicle. You just sit somewhere. Now you got fuck you money. Excuse my language stuff. You got F you money. Now you got money to which though you ain't gotta go sit and go work for nobody. You living off the interest that you get and gaining money. Then you still got extra money. So it would be stealth wealth. I would probably take, if I ever won the lottery, I would take probably just 2 weeks to myself. I want to go on an island. I want to sit. I want to clear my mind. I don't want no distraction. I want to detox my body. I want to just live the life I want to live. And then I would just probably man, I want the cool life. I want to wake up in the morning, take the kids to school, work out, take a nap, read a book, go on a walk, man. And if I want to go feed the homeless, cool. If I want to go buy a property and renovate it and flip it, cool. If not, I just want to be able to just live and have fun and be carefree. Like, don't feel like so bogged down and, so many responsibilities. Like, I want a life of ease. If I got $7 million, I just want to chill. Like, you thought I chilled before, nigga. You thought you ain't seen me before. I would pay somebody to change their name to Davon and do the Blake Dan podcast.
It'd be like this. You be doing that. You be recording like this and shit. Eyes up.
No, I would pay somebody to put on a mask or something to record for me. Shit, nigga, I ain't got time to do. I mean, I love y'all, but shit, I want to go chill now. I'm ready to go lay up with my old lady. No.
Yeah, I would definitely like that. That's the I would agree with that for sure. And I would say like for me, just being it because as a creative, we'll be able to do everything. You feel me? Like you'll have every aspect of just this thing. Granted, I would want to create other streams of income.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Invest. But just as far as like even like this thing would be top notch, and it wouldn't even take a whole bunch of money to get this to a space of like top notch operation. You feel me? It wouldn't take you a whole bunch of money.
So we got our own channel. It's done. We're producing several different podcasts, putting out different platforms. They did Streamer University. I got some streaming ideas, like some live things, like so. There's so many different avenues that we still gonna be able to take with this, man. So we want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Black Dad Podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Another amazing episode, man. Please
shout out to you, man.
like, subscribe, man. Please submit any questions, any feedback. We appreciate it, and we really appreciate it. And thank y'all for tuning in for another episode.
This is only a test.